Okay, hey everybody, Matt Gillogly here, and with a Monday edition of some training for you here in the Increasing Medical Practice. If you've been following my posts, kind of in the general public, I think I've posted in here as well. I've decided to really dig deep for you all on this topic of how to grow your medical practice without generating new clients. Now, I did do a video earlier today that is out in the general market, general posting in LinkedIn. And I go into detail about how I got there. Okay, so I'm not going to rehash that. What I am going to do is I want to talk to you specifically about this gap that exists in your and why. Okay, so like I said, I always am going to give people in my group a lot more detail than what I just put out into the marketplace. So let's dive in. Now, you've probably heard me talk about what I call the open system and the closed system. Okay. And this is the primary reason as to why you wind up with a revenue gap. Okay, I want you to think about the difference between an open system and a closed system. An open system is the diabetic who drinks Mountain Dew and eats Doritos and bonbons all day long. Okay, you can give them as many pills as you want, but you're not going to fix the systemic issue. The pills, in your case, by the way, is you thinking that you need to generate new leads, or that you need to do better Facebook postings, or you need better social media, or you need better reviews. And while all of that's important and all of that works, the real issue is that those are really just pills. Okay, they aren't fixing the systemic issue. And the systemic issue is that you have what's called an open system. You are living transaction to transaction. So let me see if this makes any sense to you. Sorry, my dog's moving around a little bit. Mulligan's in here with me. So let me see if any of this sounds familiar to you. Okay, if you are dealing with the fact that you have a hard time sleeping at night based on how you did that day, if you make a big transaction that day, you have a couple of really good transactions for the week, you actually sleep better because you now have your nut covered, then you are in what I call you're in transaction hell. Okay, so your attitude and your feeling is based solely on whether or not you made sales that day. And if you have a couple of days in a row where you're not making any sales, then things get really even more stressed out. And then what happens is you start grasping at straws. You start, instead of thinking strategically and thinking smart, what you wind up doing is you wind up coming up with harebrained ideas, or you try to do this, or you chase that, or you say, I need to do this kind of Facebook thing, or I need another post, or you don't think about this strategically. How do I know this? Because I've been in exactly that same place. I know exactly what that is like. In our clinics, and you can imagine, by the way, the revenue needs that you have when you have 3 clinics and your payroll is $60,000 every 2 weeks, and your marketing budget is $150,000 a month. My attitude, my outlook in life is always dictated about whether or not we did well that day, right? If we did well that day, I had a good night. If we didn't do well that day, I did not have a good night. Okay, so I decided I wanted to get off. And so what I did is I tapped into my skill set, which was for years growing companies just by working their existing lists. So let me explain this to you. Okay, so here you go. If you are transaction based, so if that means that the patient comes in, they do their procedure and they leave, that's what I call a transaction based business. This is not sustainable. Okay, this grows gray hair and burns a hole in the lining of your stomach from stress faster than anything that I know. Okay. And the transactions are great. You sell something for $6,000 and you feel fantastic. The problem is you don't have, and you think, well, I did a good enough job. This guy or gal's eventually going to come back. And that's just not the case. Okay. So what happens is you wind up just chasing lead after lead after lead after lead. And it doesn't really work out well. Okay. You're always transaction based. This is what I call a closed system. Okay. So, and I'm going to tell you how to get out of this, how to get to a closed system. A closed system has a couple of key ingredients. Okay. What it has, I'm going to erase this right here. What it has is it has a monthly recurring revenue. That's MRR. Okay. To get out of this, you want to create a monthly recurring revenue. Why? Well, let me do the math for you. I was on the phone the other day with a client of mine. This doctor's monthly nut to run her practice, payroll for her to get paid is $55,000 a year, or $55,000 a month. Okay. So if she does less than that, she's stressed out. If she does more than that, she's better. Now, she had a good couple of months in the summer, $75,000, $80,000 a month, right? and then she has a slow month, and so she's back to being in struggle. Okay. So in this closed system, what I want you to do is the first thing I want you to do is I want you to make sure that after every procedure, you schedule the patient to come back in 21 days. Okay. You're going to come back in 21 days. The reason why I'm going to bring this patient back in 21 days, very simply put, is I want to hear how they did, and I want to get it on video. Okay. So you're going to create a testimonial. Okay. It's not going to fit when I write it, but anyway, you're going to get a testimonial. Testa is a testimonial. Okay. And then the other thing is we want to put them on this monthly recurring revenue. Okay. I'm going to draw this arrow back up. And a monthly recurring revenue, it can be a membership. It can be a testosterone treatment plan. I have clients that do like clubs for them to get laser treatment. You want to create some kind of monthly recurring revenue, and we want to get you to $10,000 a month as quickly as possible. Okay. Now, what happens is that because you don't have this, you have what I call lost revenue. Okay. So this, by the way, is the gap. Okay. So I'm going to show you the gap. Okay. So this down here, this is the revenue that you're generating. This is the revenue that you're leaving on the table each and every single month because you run this open system. Okay. Now, do you want to access this revenue? That's my question. If you feel like you are leaving revenue on the table, that you have an open system, that your patients can come in and they don't have a way to keep coming back to you, they don't have a reason to keep coming back to you. And it's not just because you're a great doctor. It's not just because you did a great job. I want you to really ask yourself, do you have less than 10% of your patients coming back to you on a regular and consistent basis? If you do, you've got a problem. They are not going to come back to you just because. They're going to forget about how great you are. Ask me how I know this. I trust you got to believe me on this because they just don't. They're going to go to the next deal. They're going to go to the next doc. They're going to go somewhere else. Okay. So we want to create a closed system, and I want to create that closed system for you, not with you. I want to do it for you. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for 5 practices. I have 1 right now, so I've got 4 left. I'm looking for 4 remaining practices. Here's what you need. You need to have a list. You need to have a list of your patients. Email and physical address is great. 2, I will build a landing page for you on your site at no additional charge so that we can access these clients. What I'm going to do is very simply is I'm going to market directly to your house list, and I guarantee that I will make you $12,000 additional in the next 60 days, or I will continue to do it until you make that $12,000. I guarantee this. I don't know any other way to make this more simple and less risk adverse for you. Okay. This is what I call, and I've done this for years. I did this in my own medical practices. I've done this in other niches, and I want to do it for you. Okay. So here's what you have to do. You can message me below. You can type down there, learn more, and or message me via LinkedIn, okay? I am not going to tell you the price right off the bat. I need to see if you're a fit first. I'm dead serious about this because I know we can do this. I am looking for doctors that are willing to go all in with me to get this done. I will do all the work. I will write all the copy. I will send out the emails. I will do everything for you, okay? And I will guarantee that you'll make the $12,000 in 60 days, or I will continue to do it for you until you do. Okay. So that's it. I want to help you tap into this lost revenue. Every practice I have gone to, just about every business I've ever gone to, has significantly lost revenue. You don't have time to focus in on it. You are great at being a doctor. I'm great at tapping into this lost revenue. Let me do this for you. Okay. That's it. Message me or post below. And I look forward to working with a select 4 more of you all to access that additional $12,000 and help you build some recurring revenue beyond. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.